Struggle is a terrible thing to waste. Charlie Plumb. Loss, tragedy, divorce, abuse, suicide, disasters, accidents, combat. It's all trauma. Do you know someone who struggles? Do you struggle? People don't get to select a convenient time for tragedy to strike. And when it does, and you can't handle it, your brain goes into survival mode to protect you. One thing is certain, struggle will have its day, and focusing on mental health can better prepare us to get back to the other side. Think for a second about the most defining moment in your life. Think about the worst day of your life. For me, it was October 24th, twice. In 1985, my father was tragically killed in a plane accident. I was 9 years old, and I didn't know what to do. And several of my parents' friends told me that I needed to stay strong and help my mother. And that's exactly what I did. I buried my problems, and I stayed strong for her. In 2003, I was a platoon leader in Iraq. A counter-fire mission went terribly wrong, and we killed 13 innocent women and children. To make it worse, I was asleep, but it was my responsibility. And so between those two wonderful October 24th, I struggled endlessly with what I call my demons. And those days played like broken records in my head for decades. What were those demons? You might recognize some of them. I was angry about everything. I had a calloused heart and soul. I pushed other people away. And I was a hollow shell of a man. I often felt like a robot just going through the motions of life. Self-medicated with alcohol. That was prescribed medication. I found little joy in doing almost anything, and I worked myself sick because the busier I was, the less I thought about my past. And the worst part about it all is by doing all of that, I hurt the people that I love most. And every time I started to make progress, something else happened. Another traumatic event that awakened the demons, and it started all over. I was trapped in a hole, and I thought that hole was so deep that I'd never get out of it. So it makes me think of Captain Charlie Plumb. I started with one of his quotes. He was a prisoner of war in the Hanoi Hilton in Vietnam for over 6 years. And he said that I learned that the prison was not the 8 feet between the walls, it was the 8 inches between my ears. And much like Captain Plumb, I wasn't stuck in a hole, I was stuck in my head. A year ago, my life changed dramatically when I attended a nonprofit program for veterans and first responders, which includes emergency managers. It's called Warrior Path, PATHH. And through peer-led post-traumatic growth, or PTG training, I learned to find the strength in my struggles, the power of disclosure, and how to be vulnerable. So through the struggle of my father's death, I developed many strengths. I learned leadership at a very young age, helping raise my brother and sister. And I also developed that spidey sense. I can usually tell you when something's about to go bad. And those strengths would serve me well in life, and especially in Iraq, and even today in this business. And then my time in Iraq really instilled just an endless, deep will to live and persevere through life, no matter what happened or will happen. So standing here before you and talking about my demons is called disclosure. Revealing them takes their power away, and it provides freedom. I don't have to worry about what people may think, because guess what? I just told you. So talking about it breaks the stigma. It helps normalize struggle. And then most importantly, it encourages and inspires others to do the same. Brené Brown says that vulnerability sounds like truth and feels like courage. And truth and courage aren't always comfortable, but they're never weakness. And I was never vulnerable before. I was a brick wall. But being able to be vulnerable and to share my story has opened so many doors, and I have better relationships with people and my family and my kids, and it's endless. But how do we do that? You can do it with PTG practices. They're practices, not tools. So you can't use them once and put them away. You have to continue them. 3 of my favorites. Movement. I'm not saying you need to go run a marathon, but every morning when I wake up, I spend 30 to 60 minutes stretching. The military kind of ruined my body. When your mental health declines, so does your physical health. I got a lot of aches and pains. I get on a foam roller, I get the blood flowing, reduce my pain levels, and then I don't walk around like the Tin Man looking for his oil can for the rest of the day. Transcendental meditation, or TM. When I was told I was going to learn meditation at this program I attended, I just kind of laughed. I was like, you want me to sit still and not think about anything? So I have 3 brain cells, and they fight all the time, and plus there's a squirrel running around in there. It's never going to happen. So the truth is that it doesn't take any contemplation, concentration, or control of your mind. With TM, you sit quietly, you repeat a mantra to yourself, and magic happens over time. Gratitude. Even on your worst day, there's always something to be thankful for. Find those things, think about them, write them down, and share them with people. I write gratitude notes on sticky notes, and I leave them on my wife's mirror in the morning. It makes her day better. It makes my day better. And I'm not talking novels. I'm like, I am grateful you made my cup of coffee and filled my water bottle. Those small details will completely change your life. Gratitude is so easy. So there's other practices available to all of us. Breathing techniques, journaling, yoga, grounding, walking a labyrinth. That one was huge for me. Reading, talking with a trusted friend, listening to great music. And there's more. Find one of those that you're comfortable and start with it and grow from there. Life isn't hard. It's a lot of damn work. Bad stuff's going to find us all at some point, especially in this profession. But how we choose to move forward is up to us. You know, Viktor Frankl said in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, if one cannot change the situation that causes his suffering, he can still choose his attitude. We can all choose our attitude, and we can all choose our attitude surrounding mental health. You remember that defining moment in your life that I asked you to think about? Your worst day? I'll say one more thing. You are not alone. Let's start talking. I'm listening. Struggle well, my friends. Thank you.